Hey, Gospel Seeker, are you utilizing what God has already given you so you can return to Him empty? 2 Timothy chapter 4, beginning at verse 6, Paul said, "For I am ready to be poured out as a drink offering, and my time of departure is close. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. There is reserved for me a crown of righteousness, with the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that day, and not only me, but all those who have loved His appearing." Paul, at the end of his life, was ready to just pour it all out. This is a man who at the end of his life knew he had no regrets in everything that the Lord had called him to do. Someone who made sure that whatever he was given, he was willing to pour it out to all those who were around him, so that when he returned to the Lord, he returned empty. And I often wonder to myself, that sounds easy when that's your career, when that's your life, when it's your occupation, right? What do we who just kind of live this life day to day and have other things to do, how are we able to achieve that? And the Holy Spirit said, well, what are you using that I've already given you? Because we always want to think, well, if I had more time, or if I was being paid for it, or if this was my job, then yeah, of course I would do all these things. But we often forget that the Lord just wants us to be faithful with a few things. Matthew 25 and 23 says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been good with a few things. Now I'll put you in charge of many things." If you're sitting there waiting on the big break, if you're sitting there waiting on the right agent, if you're sitting there waiting on the right time, you're wasting time. It is all about making sure that you are faithful with what God has already given you. Take this channel for an example. It is July. The Lord told me to start working on this channel back in January, and I have not seen the growth that I was expecting. And that's okay, because as I've been saying through anything that I've been going through this year, I'm going to keep being faithful with what God has told me to do. He told me to do this channel. He told me to go ahead and post these videos, so that's what I'm doing. What growth I do see, I thank Him for it. What's beautiful when you look at Paul, he literally is talking to Timothy, who has told him about just being faithful over what God has given him. To Timothy, Paul must have been this larger than life apostle. And yet Paul is telling them, at least with the letters that we have that are in our Bible, that all you have to do is just be faithful with what God has already given you. I've talked to the church before about this idea that it's hard sometimes. You see these larger than life people in the Bible doing all these great things. But here it's just a reminder that these larger than life people only got that way because of what God gave them, and they were faithful with the little bit that He gave them. And then it became these larger than life things. Utilize what God has already given you and continue to be faithful with it, and watch it just bloom and grow into something that you never imagined. Be ready to be empty when you see the Lord. That, my friends, is good news. I love y'all. Shalom.